Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the bonus episode on part two of Division of the Assembly. I was just really interested in what Canon's Rules of Order had to say here, and I'd like to just read it. This is just an interesting little tidbit. So it says, the chair should be especially sensitive and deliberate in ascertaining the results of each vote. When, for instance, a voice vote is taken that leaves any room at all for doubt, the chair should, instead of announcing a result, ask for a standing division. Notice they call it a standing division, whereas in Robert's division, that's what it means. That is, a vote taken by those for and against a motion stand up. If, after the chair has made a careful visual estimate of how many are standing for each side, the division is still close, the chair, again without announcing a result, should call for a counted vote. That is a vote whereby each member is counted individually. The chair thus, in these early stages, systematically impresses upon the members the high value placed on the recording of their votes. One practice I have found useful is for the chair to ask for assistance at the podium in making the estimate on a standing division. This move takes a little more time, but it builds the members' confidence in the chair. The chair, for example, may ask for a second standing division, but this time requesting other elected officers on stage to assist in estimating the vote. It is much better to use elected officers rather than paid staff for assistance. When the members stand, the chair and the officers estimate the numbers in a very deliberate manner. After they confer, the chair can announce that it is their opinion that the motion has passed or failed. Now, I want to go back to before, because that was directly on division. But it's talking about leading up to that, the finesse and, the skill of the chair. So it says, the chair should be aware of how much is to be gained by proceeding slowly and patiently during the early stages of a meeting. When briefing a presiding officer before a meeting, I often draw a parallel between presiding over a meeting and courting. Courting, the old-fashioned word. A deliberate approach at this point will go far to establish among the members a sense of the chair's sincerity and fairness. Members need time to get the feel of the meeting, time to size up the chair, and decide whether the person can be trusted to make fair procedural decisions, take accurate vote counts, and deal with the members in a straightforward manner. Once their confidence is established, the members can sit back more comfortably. They have found their groove for the meeting, and the chair, now in control, can proceed. At this point, a little extra magic happens. In addition to building goodwill, the chair has also created the impression among the members that he or she is a strong, competent person whom they are proud to have leading their organization. I just thought that was really good advice, but I just thought it was really interesting the way Canons went into that in detail. Okay, that's it for the bonus episode. Hope you enjoyed it, and bye-bye.